video games. Michael Malice is joining us right now via Skype. Hi, Michael. How are you?
Guys? Oh, there's a close-up. Jesus Christ.
It's your end. I mean, we could pull it back.
All right.
There you go. Okay.
Much better.
That's good.
I'm marginally less ugly.
You're a handsome man. I like the blonde streak. Very
I'm
Joey
over it.
Exotic.
I like.
I'm over the blonde streak, but I can't get my hair cut.
No one can, and it's going to really start looking tragic. I was watching Fox News, and the beautiful women of Fox News, you could kind of tell when they don't have hair and makeup anymore, and they got to do it themselves. Some are not as good.
You mean Judge Janine?
Oh, Judge Janine. I swear I thought she was African-American when I was watching her show. Her hair.
You want to hear a secret?
Her face. I think she is.
You? This secret involves you.
Yeah.
We were both 2 of the 4 panelists on the last episode of Red Eye, which never aired, right?
Oh, wow.
And one of the things, I did a Superman reveal.
That was the one.
Right, came out dressed as Clark Kent. Every commercial, I took off a piece of clothing, and by the end, I was in my Superman suit. So beforehand, the hair and makeup people at Fox are real pros, and they're really into their job. They're really great people. Beforehand, I go, I want to look like Clark Kent, like really get the hair like Christopher Reeve. And I guess they broke my neck. So the girl, I swear, reaches to the bottom drawer, like the secret drawer. It's like a safe, I'm imagining. She pulls out some product and she goes, "This is for black people." And she shellacked it. But that hair did not move.
Yeah,
that hair, it was like Michelle Obama's hair. It's like this wave. Move.
Awesome. Was was it the black woman that was kind of heavy set?
No. I'm not naming names.
Okay. Because I'm just saying.
Herself.
I'm not saying that, but she was a great makeup person. Yeah. Did the job very well. Gavin McInnes was always accusing her of trying to grab his cock.
Oh.
Really? I don't know. Yeah, it was just Gavin, being Gavin.
I was supposed to ask you a question, and I've had a show on your network for like years. You've never come to my house. We don't hang out.
Oh, Jesus. Greg Opie Malice. Oh, boy. Why don't you come to my house, dude?
I thought we were friends. You never come over. You don't know who I am.
Oh, boy. That's it, brother man. I guess it's over.
Neither of you have come to my apartment in Harlem.
Brother man.
Shit.
I'm getting a little loopy, I think, with this.
Yeah. This is getting a little like we're going through these moments where the first couple of days it was something, and then the next couple of days the mood and attitude and opinions of this whole thing kind of change. And now we're in this part where it's like, this is getting really weird to me. Even though my lifestyle pretty much is the same, I would do the show, come home and not see anyone anyway, play video games or whatnot. But it's feeling weird. What are you getting from all this? Are you sequestered by yourself?
I'm getting that it's kind of the vibe I'm getting is that Dave is your special needs son.
Yes.
And he's moved into the house and he's just sitting there right now with this kind of little smile on his face. Like he's always a little amiable.
I'm just waiting for the ice cream I was promised.
Like now look at his face. He's like,
huh?
I don't have to be in school.
Yeah.
With the wheelchair kids.
Yeah. Where's my Superman outfit?
Oh, let me tell you guys something else. So every so often, and I stole this from Neil Hamburger, on Twitter, I'll make jokes about Eric Clapton throwing his son out the window.
Yeah,
sure.
We could write a hit song. And, people get very upset by this.
Of course.
Because there was, I had this comment about, like, I was worried he was sacrificing his second-born to Satan to have a hit song. I didn't do that one. But people would you think it's funny if your kid fell out the window to his death? And I'm like, well, it depends. Would he be wearing a Superman outfit at the time? Homemade Superman outfit.
You're the king of trolling.
Yeah, your Twitter is such a fun follow. People don't get it. It's the perfect example of how angry people get about Twitter content. without taking into consideration that something might be a joke or a parody or satire, and they just have pure, just anger toward you.
Well, people don't get irony anyway.
No, never.
I said people don't get irony anyway anymore.
That's true, but I also don't understand how if you encounter a moron, which let's suppose they perceive me as a moron, why are you this upset by it? It's not like the person is like a waiter or a dry cleaner that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a moron on Twitter. Why are you upset by this?
Right.
This doesn't affect
Why is
my
that
life.
upsetting? By the way, was that your joke, the difference between a bag of cocaine and a child? It's like Eric Clapton wouldn't let a bag of cocaine fall out the window.
I think that's Neil Hamburger.
I
He had
love
a-
Okay,
that
that is
fucking
a
joke.
that is a damn fine joke.
That's my
His-
favorite joke.
That is a
No,
good
his,
one.
his better Clapton joke was, why did Eric Clapton switch to Apple computers? Because he had a problem with Windows.
Yeah.
Just the
I like how
simplest.
Why is Drew like the Ed McMahon of this show?
he's over in the, we call it the out of control booth.
Yep.
Oh gosh.
Oh my God, we're all losing our minds.
There he is. It's crazy in the out of control booth.
Do you think we're just gonna get used to this way of life, or things are gonna change back?
I that's the thing I don't think none of us have discussed
Yeah.
is how do we, I don't see how you go back to normal. It's not like the disease, unless they have like literally a cure, which they haven't cured the flu.
No.
Yeah.
How ever go back to the before times? I don't see the transition.
Like, how did it work in 1918? There was this horrible Spanish flu. A bunch of people died from it and got it. When did that just go away? And by the way, there was they rarely report the resurgence that it had in the fall of that year. It came back and killed a lot more people. So it wasn't just one thing and then done. But then it disappeared. And how does that happen? And why didn't it continue? They had no medical technology back then to speak of, really. They had no social media to tell people to stay apart from each other. But it eventually did just kind of disappear. I guess that's what we have to wait for?
Till now.
So
Yeah.
because I'm in the Matrix, if you go to my goodreads.com, I read a book about the Spanish flu in November. So like I knew that, I don't know how that happened. I knew this shit was coming.
Ahead of the curve.
The thing is, the corporate press, who I always regard as the enemy of the people, they're spending a lot of time worrying about how this is racist, right? To call it the Chinese flu.
yeah,
and it's just like, this is really the concern. It's amazing that for the first time in our lifetimes, they care about racism against Asian people. Like all this time now, it's a problem. But in 1918, they called it the Spanish Lady. Because the flu was, you know, like Uncle Sam or Statue of Liberty, the flu was drawn in political cartoons as a woman from Spain, right?
Uh-huh.
And what was happening in 1918, this is during World War I, is you would have these lots of collections of people very physically close. So you'd have like boot camp or whatever the hell it was. Then those guys get on a ship. And then when they're off the ship, everywhere they go, they're spreading it. And it kept coming back in different places. And if you look at the photos, like people are wearing masks and these creepy masks, it was very, very disturbing. And like you said, it would go away and then it would come back. And I forgot who it was. I saw a tweet. Someone made the point, they go, idiots, it's going to go away, but then it's going to winter in the Southern Hemisphere. And then it's going to come back here in the fall. Like this
saw
is how
that too.
things work.
And
So-
then what? Are we supposed to do this all over again in the fall?
We should make those big fucking Gina Davis and Beetlejuice fucking peacock masks,
Like
or whatever.
those masks,
those big
like they
bird
wore-
Like
death.
doctor masks?
Yeah, the death masks.
They were
So-
quite a scary.
No, those
thing.
aren't death masks. So
What are they
those
called?
masks,
Yeah.
those masks, the big beaks, was during
Yeah.
the Middle Ages, right? And they thought disease was spread by bad air. So what the doctors would do
We
is they
still
would have
do.
these big masks, and in the nose they would have herbs, because then you're breathing the herbs and not the bad air, and they'd all die. And they don't
Of
become
course
vectors
they
of
did.
disease. But
How
yeah,
ridiculous!
yeah, that well, they're trying their best. I mean, listen, they have as much a way to fix this shit as we do.
They did have,
That's true.
yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
I wanna-
That's wah, 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 the penguin.
I do want to wear that though.
That is awesome Halloween costume. They did have social distancing back in 1918, and it worked. Like New Orleans, for some reason, had people really stay apart from each other, and their death rate, as compared to somewhere like Philadelphia, which got ravaged by the Spanish flu in 1918, because they literally had a parade for returning soldiers, and people were wearing masks and everything, but they didn't cancel the parade, and just the entire city comes out. There's nothing else to do in 1918.
Right.
And if there's a parade in your city, you're going to it. And it just ravaged Philadelphia. One of the highest death counts from the pandemic back in 1918 was Philly.
Yeah, I had to cough today.
Oh.
And I almost had a panic attack.
Isn't that crazy? It's like yelling the N-word. You're looked at the same way. If you had Tourette's, where you only yell the N-word, that's what it feels like if you have a cough now. You gotta hold it in. You can't do it in public.
What's the medical term for when you have to tweet that shit out?
Anthony Cumia-itis.
Yeah, Cumia syndrome. I got a case of the Cumia.
Yeah.
I can't stop tweeting
I got the
about
Cumia.
I had no idea you had Tourette's all these years.
Yeah, it's Twitter Tourette's. That's what I have. That's my fucking excuse, and I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, I have a condition.
I thought you called it
It's not
photography.
sympathy
Yeah. It only happens when I'm
for me.
holding a camera.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, for each of you, it's never fun to go from having your regular life to having an unwanted roommate. So what is the most annoying thing for each of you about living with the other one?
I gotta be honest, and this is really honest. First of all, we haven't spent that much time. It's been a week, I guess, maybe
Okay.
a week
That's
and a
good.
half.
Yeah.
And thank God I have been blessed with the ability to purchase a house that has rooms, full rooms with their own bathrooms, very far apart from each other. Not quite far apart enough to not hear me yell about video games, but far enough. There really hasn't been anything. It's kind of fun because, like I said, I'll be playing games at 3 a.m. and Drew comes out of his pot cloud room after playing video games and grabs another whiskey. And I'm like, this is a fucking awesome guy. Like, if you want somebody to make you not feel bad about your wee hours of the morning drinking, it's fucking Drew. And then Dave just slinks off to his room to FaceTime with his family or write. He's writing a movie and stuff for when he's able to be in the clubs again. The food is great. We just either order out or Missy cooks. Or
I've
there's
been
no
at your
problem.
house. The food is good, really good.
Yeah, there's no real issues now. And I think, if we were cooped up in a small apartment.
No, you're right.
There might be an issue, but I don't know, well enough to know what anybody's idiosyncrasies are or stuff. But I'm fine with these guys. They're fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Dave,
mine is the screaming. No, I'm just kidding.
The screaming and the racial epithets that are just yelled at on a daily basis.
Yeah. Also, once we're off camera, he just calls me boy.
We just opened the pool.
Yeah,
the
no,
pool is
honestly,
open,
like-
so
Dave, maybe he thinks you're Talib.
Oh, no,
now
he-
ask me that question if he was broadcasting from here.
yeah, he calls me something. I calls him something else.
Dave, the look on your face, I don't know why I'm picking on you, but I got to tell this story also. When I was in high school, I had a friend named Eric, and Eric had this really big backpack, right? And I went with Eric once to the comic book store, and I told the guy working the comic book store, must have been in his early 20s, I said, this is my friend from my high school. He's retarded. And Eric's never been to a comic book store. He's not a comic book guy. He's looking around, back issues, like, what's this? There's a lot of weird comic books. There's like 100 a week that come out, whoever it was. And the guy's like, oh, shut up. Wait, is he? No, you're kidding. Wait, is he? Because once you put that, when someone's just looking at stuff, it's like, is he? So Dave, you're just sitting there with this kind of little smile.
Yeah.
Just like, is he?
Jimmy would do that. Jim Norton does that if we would go to dinner or we're in a public place. He starts acting retarded, and he starts asking me terrible things, and I have to tell him to stop. And everybody in the room is looking at me like I'm a piece of shit for saying shit back to the poor retarded child.
Like what? What's he asking you?
Oh, like about my AIDS. Like saying, yeah, like, you have AIDS. And I have to be like, no, I don't. He's not really like this. He's acting like this but he plays the part so well.
Are you holding a mirror?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, right? Are you talking to yourself about your AIDS? What are you doing? What are you doing to stay sane? Everybody has a hobby, or this being able to do the show on a daily basis kind of brings us back to some normalcy, and it's kind of cool. Are you doing anything to help yourself out?
It's been very rough for me until like the last 48 hours. So between last Thursday and Monday, I didn't speak.
Wow.
I was in complete like isolation, because I've been a New Yorker all my life, and when you go outside and no one's there, it's very hard to reconcile this with reality.
Yeah.
And that is happening day after day. It's like I feel like I'm in one of those. I've said this. I feel like I'm in one of those movies where you go into the wrong timeline. And everyone's just walking around the timeline thinking this is normal. You're like, no, we're not supposed to be in this timeline. Like,
yeah, what happened? How do we get back?
This one trick, and everyone will be fine. They'll be like, what pandemic? What were you talking about? I'm like, oh, thank God, it was just a dream. Or was it? Right? So it was very, very tough for me. Now it's gotten a little bit better because I've been engaging with people more, but I spend a good 100 hours just fucking watching TV, reading, and I had so many people checking in on me, and I just couldn't do it. I was like losing it. How
happy are the producers of Tiger King that came out during a time where people are just dying for anything to watch, and this comes out, everyone's talking about. I think everyone in the United States has seen that fucking documentary.
Okay. And it could have been whittled down to an hour.
So Joe Exotic, he was like the libertarian candidate for some
governor.
Office?
He was running for president, and then he decided he couldn't be president, so he was going to run for governor of Oklahoma.
I have a lot of libertarian fans. I've had to block this guy over a year ago because he was being annoying to me. I don't remember, maybe it was on Instagram or Twitter. So I have not seen this. And now I feel like since everyone is seeing it, I'm scared to watch it. Is it good?
It's really good. It's so weird. Everyone in it is a piece of shit. There's there's not one person who has any worth in the entire thing. People are suspected of murder. And
to the point that they're opening up cold cases.
Yeah, cold cases.
because of the fucking documentary.
To the point where Keith is giving him a pilot.
Yes.
Yeah. Apparently, people that want to own big cats are all kind of retarded and criminal.
Yeah, every twist is that everybody's an asshole. Like, and there's no redeeming factor. It is a Netflix documentary series, so it could be whittled down to a couple hours, but it's still really entertaining to watch.
I don't remember watching when I used to watch Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom back in the old days with Marlon Perkins. How come his teeth weren't falling out from meth?
Yeah.
He seemed like a regular old dude. Apparently now, if you handle big cats, you also have to do an amazing amount of crystal meth.
Quite a bit.
But I would think that the big cats people historically come from like the carny population.
Yes, I think that is and they all come off as carnies. They're all some type of scam artists trying to finagle and steal other people's businesses.
Yeah,
and shit.
They're hustlers.
So yeah, it's definitely a carny.
The one guy
vibe.
definitely is, but Joe Exotic himself is it's just white trash roots who happens to be gay. Then he's into polygamy. Like the whole chain of how he becomes even interested in the tigers is hilarious and fascinating. But it's not.
Oh, it's explained?
Oh, yeah.
He's such a scumbag.
Okay.
He's just a scumbag. It's worth seeing. I think a lot of people have seen it again because I think watching TV is all people can do at this point. Although, I see a few people, even my brother, him and his daughter Layla, they go out riding bicycles.
Oh yeah.
They go riding bikes, and it's like, yeah, it's not everywhere in the air. It has to actually get from a person to you pretty quickly. I've read things where it could last on a surface, but they're not quite sure how long. But for the most part, if you're outside and not bumping into people directly, you're fine. You're not going to get it that way. So people just saying they're stuck in their house are, I guess, lazy. I guess, I don't know. You're in New York, so it's a little tougher. Once you go out, you're in the fucking hot zone with homeless people and degenerates and
well, there's not
the
6
rest of New
feet
York.
of sidewalk to separate on.
And that's another thing. You're constantly passing by people.
Right.
Someone coughs as they're walking past you. They just fucking fired a shot into your face.
I tweeted out today that if you're going to do it, today's the day, April Fool's, to bust out the sneezing powder.
Oh yeah. April Fool. Boy, what a lackluster April Fool's. Usually there's all the stories of the jokes, and Twitter's full of April Fool's jokes, and they talk about the Opie and Anthony April Fool's mayor's dead prank again. This, nothing. April Fool's means nothing, because nothing is as crazy as what's really happening.
I'm just shocked by how quickly civilization has come to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
And how everyone's just like, oh, okay, this is life now.
Yeah. We're really not too bad with just sitting home and doing nothing.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
like, we have
but
so much shit now that we have stuff to do at home. We're so ingrained in television and everything that we're like, yeah, I guess when that old job site comes back up, I'll try to get some money. We've just given up on everything.
And I gotta tell you, I think, and this is gonna sound pompous, and I'm fine with that. That is on brand for me. I think us take it for granted how much people enjoy us talking to them and just doing shows every day and giving them some measure of sanity. So,
I've read some responses from people that watch the show, and I believe me, we like doing it. Like we said, it gives us some semblance of normalcy around there. But I can understand if you're just in the house with your wife and kids, and you can kind of get away for an hour, 2 hours to watch two guys just goof on and do dick jokes like the old days.
Right.
I guess there's some kind of calming factor in that. I don't know.
I just can't get over that look on Dave's face. I'm sorry.
That's just Dave's face.
It's called my face.
It's Dave's face. It's what it is.
I never know how to look. That's why I enjoy the studio, because you can cut away from me looking confused by everything.
Yeah, we usually do the 2 or 3 camera shoot.
Yeah.
We got the one camera and, of course, the out of control room camera.
Yeah, that way,
you need a slide whistle. Every time you say out of control, it goes woo.
Oh, yeah.
Look at one of those rings.
Yeah, we really should have called it the April Fool's Show.
Oh, yeah.
And we're the April Fools. And then a slide whistle for Drew.
And there's Drew in the...
And apparently my downsy face.
I gotta tell you, so this stuff, I'm taping Nightshade much earlier now. I'm taping it at noon instead of in the evening. And this has fucked up my sleep schedule. So now I'm all like kind of groggy. And now I'm all scared that I have it.
Everything will get you to think you have it because the symptoms are a little vague. I guess cough, tiredness, and a fever. That's what you got to look out for initially. And then, chills, things like that. The inability to breathe.
A loss of taste. Taste and smell.
Right. A large woman, a large-ass woman twerking on your coffin.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
That's one of the symptoms.
Well, that's how they decide if you're dead. They don't check pulse anymore.
Jake Tapper interviewing de Blasio about this?
Not the recent. What was that today?
Yesterday. I played the clip on Nightshade. It was really amazing because he goes, "Look, here's a bunch of clips from you, like from February 1st, February 14th,
Go
2 weeks
out.
ago." And he's like, and Blas's like, "Go out, live your life. Go out, live your life." And he's like, "Do you feel responsible on how it spread so quickly in New York because of this?" And de Blasio goes, "I don't want to focus on the past." It's like, it was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, ancient history. Ancient, the same one that talks about slavery reparations is like, oh, fuck. You talk, I barely remember that.
You mean Monday? Come on.
Fucking Monday? You know what was in between that? Tuesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
This day's almost over.
Yeah.
Bringing up old shit.
Yeah, ancient history. That's the thing. Look, and I'm not even blaming anybody.
Right.
This is something that happened. Everyone needs to blame somebody. This shit has happened throughout history. There's no way to really prepare for it in a way that's going to make everyone fine. People will die from this. The trick is to keep the least amount of people possible dying from it while not destroying everything due to the cure. That seems to be that delicate balancing act that everyone's talking about. When they get on Trump for not, they say he didn't take it seriously at the beginning. He just wasn't panicking people at the beginning. I'm sure all the medical experts that have told us stuff told him shit a lot sooner than we got the news. But he couldn't go out there and go, ladies and gentlemen, we're dying. And that's like what they wanted him to do. Panic the people.
Because he did the other thing. They want to do the reverse of whatever he
Trump
did.
does, the opposite is what they think he should have done.
And if you're an anarchist, Mike, what do you feel
Oh,
right now?
good.
Do you feel safe in this, or do you feel like government control, this is completely what you're against?
I just love the idea that, the criticism of anarchism, right, is without government, this would be out of control.
Right.
Yeah. Like, there's no system, whether it's Chinese communism or American, whatever we have here. Sweden doesn't have a crackdown yet. They're not quarantining people. There's no system where there's a crisis and everyone's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that the anarchist system would do is you would have more medical supplies, because right now, I just read an article that they're scared to buy medical supplies because they're going to get accused of price gouging.
Right.
So, like, price gouging is a good thing because that's a signal for the market to produce more of a given product. Let's just talk about that for a second. I don't have a good answer. I agree with you. Anarchism is neither here nor there in this situation. But it's just amazing how, I'm sure you guys saw, the guy from My Pillow, who's a guest on your show.
Yes, Michael Landau.
He comes out and he's like, yeah, we're making these masks. And the press is like, oh, my God, I can't believe Trump is talking to the My Pillow guy. I'm like, you are evil. You're evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like if the Westboro Baptist Church was making like syringes, are you going to be like, you're not going to take syringes from those homophobes? It's like, yeah, you take any store.
We probably are.
Assholes.
Yeah, Mike Lindell, he shut down his pillow factory. Yeah. It took him only 3 days to retool everything where he could pump out 50,000 masks a day, and he's looking to increase to 300,000 masks per day. And he's getting shit because he got up at the podium at the White House and said that prayer is important and we have to believe in Jesus. Like, he's a religious guy. He's a holy roller. Of course. And they're like, this piece of shit, the separation of church and state. Now, everyone's a constitutional lawyer, and they understand. Right. They learn that on Twitter.
Well,
and they don't understand, that the guy is doing a very decent fucking thing for
they
no
They don't regard
money.
it as a decent thing.
Why wouldn't I take syringes from the Westboro Baptist Church when I already take their literature and their word?
Right. When I already appreciate them greatly.
Like, they are more concerned with saving. This is the corporate press and the left and certain elements of the left. They're more concerned with saving souls and saving lives. So if you are working with Trump, you're a sinner in their eyes, and nothing good can come of this sin. It's a very depraved point of view. And we even saw it a couple of years ago when Kim Kardashian went to the White House and saved a woman's life, got her out of jail. And they're like, oh, my God, ha, ha, ha. It's like, she saved someone's life. Right. You're going to tell that woman's family, ha, 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 you fucking evil ass.
They blatantly lie right to our faces now, where it's not even there's not even plausible deniability anymore. Right. The one I love the most is Trump's a liar. He's not listening to the Trump should have medical experts and not his own crazy ideas. Twice a day for hours, He's standing at a podium with medical experts behind him who field questions from the media. And then they get on and go, why isn't he listening to the experts? Oh, Trump is going to open the country back up on Easter Sunday. No, he said he'd like to see that. And depending on what happens, and then you see it didn't. So we're closed down till at least April 30th again. They just lie to us to perpetuate this Trump is incompetent and we're all going to die kind of narrative to try to get the likes of Joe Biden in there.
So it's what's amazing is, let's pretend, for the sake of argument, Donald Trump says everything's fine, go back to work today. Are we to believe that none of these medical experts would get on that phone with every news outlet on earth and be like, don't listen to him.
Right.
This is terrible. We're going to die. And that they wouldn't report it? Both Don Lemon from CNN and Rachel Maddow from MSNBC have now said that they shouldn't be covering Trump's press conferences.
Yeah, they stopped covering them.
Yeah, because he's turning them into campaign rallies. It's like, wait a minute. We're having a pandemic, and the person in charge of the federal government, we should be ignoring what they're saying about how to handle this with, as you point out, medical experts right behind him answering these questions. And if you look at those press conferences, he turns to them all the time. He's like, oh, am I speaking correctly? Can you please come up to the mic?
Right. He's calling them up.
He steps all aside so he doesn't have to take the shit, too.
Yeah, human very means very little to these people.
Yeah, power.
And it's very, very demonstrated.
They want the power, and what they're doing. Yeah, the medical experts at these news conferences are constantly giving information that Trump couldn't possibly give and wouldn't even try to give. And they haven't been running these because, like you said, they akin them to one of his rallies. Now, meanwhile, yesterday, they didn't air his news conference yesterday. Yesterday is when they said, look, this is bad. It's the first time they said they're expecting a minimum of 100,000 deaths in the U.S. because of this. Now, whether you believe that or not, what have you, is inconsequential. The fact that the medical experts and this corona task force that Trump put together was saying this, and CNN was not broadcasting it, is just, how do you argue that you're not doing it for bias reasons, that you don't want the candidate for the presidency, the incumbent president, get looking good while you're running Joe Alzheimer's?
Well, it's not bias. It's an agenda. Yeah. If it was bias, they would air it and be like, this is our critique. An agenda is when the facts are secondary and it's completely about promoting yourself and your hold on power. Yeah. I could be very, very biased. I would still, the president is the president.
Still be sensible.
He could be the worst person on earth. You still have to hear what he has to say and be like, look at this asshole. I'm biased against him. An agenda is where you feel comfortable as an organization who's ostensibly there to provide information to the populace, to actually say, we are not going to provide you this information because it interferes with our hold on power.
Enemy of the people.
Well, when your agenda is to destroy human lives and scare the living shit out of them, what's the like? Of course, they don't care about human life. Their entire business now runs on not caring about people and basically using these death numbers to either not inform us properly on purpose. Well, no, they just do it to not inform us properly on purpose.
Well, here's something else that Anthony is going to really like. It's that all of a sudden they learned what per capita means.
Yeah. How many years me, you, people on Twitter have been trying to show people what per capita means and just getting responses where they obviously don't understand. Now everyone knows what per capita means.
He was talking about, we have tested more than any other country. Yeah. And they go, this is a lie, not a mistake, a lie.
Right.
Because other countries have tested more per capita. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Per capita. You're getting the per capita thing now?
And first
Maybe
of all,
not. You weren't understanding it with crime statistics, were you?
Yeah. It's just, it's amazing how first of all, this is really one example where, you can make the argument per capita is better, sure, and I think it's a fair argument to make. For him to say we're testing more than everyone else, to say that's a lie, is
a lie.
Deranged.
Right. When they will twist a statistic like nobody's business. I've seen that. My favorite thing, though, of this whole pandemic and the media coverage of it was with the hydro, what is that called?
Chloroquine.
Chloroquine, yeah. The hydrochloroquine, where Trump said, hey, he didn't say, I'm sending the troops out to shoot people up with this stuff tomorrow. He said, hey, I've heard that this seems to be something that's working to fight the virus in people that already have it. And if they're dying, perhaps we should give this to the people and see what happens.
Because it did with malaria, another disease.
So these two idiots decide to eat fish tank cleaner that said it had one of the ingredients on it, but it was chloroquine phosphate, which is like, it's like taking a chunk of sodium and a glass of chlorine and eating it and going, well, it's salt.
Right.
Sodium chloride is salt, so it's safe, right? No, it's a whole different thing chemically. And they ate it. The husband dies. The woman's sick. And the media goes, Trump told them to eat that. They're literally blaming Trump for these idiots eating fish tank cleaner.
I think I'm surprised they aren't trying to claim that. Isn't it funny? Trump is such a moron. He doesn't have the legal right to prescribe drugs.
Yeah, the president doesn't give you, being the president doesn't give you the right to stand behind a counter at CVS.
I also think that woman clearly killed her husband.
Oh, I think it was murder.
Because he got just enough to die. She's fine. And they're so angry at Trump, they're like, let's not even look into that.
Yeah, that's going to be.
Call him a prick.
I guarantee you, when this all blows over, that's going to end up being on a forensic files at some
But
point.
Anthony, it's even worse than you're saying, because all the articles that talked about this had photos of blister packs of pills. They didn't have photos of fish cleaner, which will have a photo of a fish on it.
It did.
It'll come in a container. They had prescription pills as the photo. And these depraved outlets are getting slammed on Twitter. In fact, one of the, I think it was CBS. Had this, it was a doctor holding up pills. And I just replied, pick unrelated. And I got more likes than their original tweet because it's so depraved.
Well, we saw what CBS did the other day, showing video footage from the Italy, one of the hospitals in Italy. They didn't say from New York, but on the bottom, on the lower third, it said New York hospitals becoming overrun with patients. So they were implying anyone looking at that would have thought you were absolutely looking at a New York hospital. And they're like, oh, an editing mistake. Who the fuck is believing that nonsense after all these years of just horse shit coming out of these news agencies? They're not even trying anymore. They used to at least try to make us believe them. And now it's all just complete bullshit.
Well, that's manipulation. I mean,
totally.
Even before bullshit, it's just complete manipulation.
Yeah, they want you to think. Meanwhile, I've seen some footage from hospitals, and you know, they say the worst is yet to come. I heard that with a lot of Blizzard announcements, too, when they say, well, we dodged a bullet. And the hospitals didn't look like they were all that crowded. A lot of emergency rooms empty, a lot of parking lots empty. I don't know. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to downplay what's happening, but I don't think we're getting an accurate assessment of what's going on in this country, and especially in New York State.
I'm glad that that we're having to deal with this, that it's happening when the weather's getting warmer. Because if this was happening in winter where people get sick anyway, and where it's dark all the time, that would really, I think the thing we have to worry about also is as isolation increases, that really fucks with people with mental illness. It's a very big trigger when you're socially isolated, and that's something we have to worry about.
I've seen a couple of stories where people are losing their minds. There's a big fat woman running through a Home Depot or a Lowe's or something.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, just running around screaming.
So hot.
Oh, God, was she a great big fat person. She was a large gal, sir. So you're seeing these little stories poke up of people losing their fucking minds. And you understand how it could happen. Now, especially picture.
No, I don't. That fat bitch wasn't going out.
She wasn't going out anyway. It's not just the isolation and the anxiety over this disease, but now factor in you don't know what the fuck you're doing for food and rent and car payments. Now pile that on top. If it was a beautiful day without any pandemic or anything, and you had a father and a wife and kids not know what's going to happen as far as their income goes, that's unbelievable stress. Now throw a fatal disease on it, And this quarantine, you're going to have people flying out fucking windows, lickety-split. And I don't mean Eric Clapton's kid.
No, nobody's going to get a lot of money for it.
No.
Like a Clapton did.
No. They did pass that relief bill, and I guess small businesses are going to be able to get some cash. I know.
Yeah, but Clapton made a lot more than $2,700.
There's no way it's not going to suck.
No, that's what it is. I know personally people are going to get something like $1,200.
Yeah.
That I'm sure it's taxable.
You get like half for a kid.
Yeah, you get that.
Like,
I mean,
like $1,200 per adult,
and then small businesses are getting a certain amount of money.
Oh, guys, we haven't even thought of the worst part of all this: the songs.
Oh, they have. I've heard a few, and they are
have
always.
you already?
They're god awful.
Oh, you didn't see Neil Diamond's hands washing hands?
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh, it's real.
The actual stars are doing this.
No,
yeah.
it's Neil Diamond. It's not even a fake Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond was at hands washing hands. Don't touch me, I won't touch you.
Yep.
But then he blew it because he sang Sweet Caroline, and I was thought he should have went Sweet Quarantine.
Yep.
Would have been funny.
Do-do-do.
Shoehorn that in. Yeah.
Yeah, there's Do You Like Deadly Corona?
Yeah.
Oh,
That one.
God.
There's My Corona. They actually did My Corona. What was the band that did My Sharona?
I don't know. I'm not a homosexual.
The Knack did that. I am. So the Knack did that one. And then Peter Frampton. Peter Frampton washed his hands to the entire Do You Feel Like We Do from Frampton Comes Alive, where he went into fast motion with a clock counting down and washed his hands to Peter Frampton tune that was about 8 minutes long.
Good thing he stopped fucking touring. His hands are probably destroyed from doing
Yeah.
that.
But then he had a little joke because he dried his hands. He showed how wrinkled they were. And then he touched something, went, oh, no. And then turned the water on, and live Freebird started.
Yeah. And then
So
Jimmy...
he's watching it, that's a live Freebird.
Then
Okay,
Jimmy
that's good.
Buffett, of course, did Cheeseburger in Quarantine.
Cheeseburger in quarantine.
Quarantine!
Yeah. So they're all getting into the act. I'm convinced that celebrities cannot not have that adulation.
And I'm making all mine up.
fans, they need that. So they, put together that Fox iHeartRadio Music from Your House special that they did, where they sit around with an acoustic and Mariah Carey's just singing a cappella. And,
You know, the one that aired on Fox News because the left has loved that network for so long?
They can't just sit alone in a house. They need to be like, we're helping people.
But did you
Let's
see that
sit
article
imagine.
about
What
like,
did you tell me about
all
Gaga?
these celebrities are going without makeup?
Yeah.
Oh,
How will
amazing.
they do their hair and makeup? And I'm getting a little gray around the temples here. I'm going to have to go to John Sahag, but I guess they're closed.
My mohawk has become a grown man's head.
Yes. It's, tragic. And people read those things in People Magazine's Twitter account. And they go, no one gives a shit. I hope this continues afterwards and we get sort of more perspective on things like how important transgender people are in our country. And maybe every day doesn't have to be covered in the news about some injustice that's being done to the transgender community.
see what
That
happened-
everyone might not be a racist every day of the week.
Did you see what happened in Minnesota?
What now?
They were like, oh, this Chinese couple were called names at the supermarket because of Trump.
'Cause
And it's
of
like
Trump.
they have to deal with racism. Like they have to deal with the virus that's murdering them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's not racism. Also, the fact that I won't order Chinese food now. It's not racist.
Wait,
It's
no.
just-
You don't do it because of the noodles thing. They make the noodles wrong.
I hate the noodles. Fuck Marco Polo and his goddamn noodles.
What is this sauce?
Brown
just
sauce.
know, look.
I need a white sauce.
I know that Chinese people, especially people that own Chinese restaurants, they have big families, very large, close families, and they travel back to China a lot. So why would I take that chance so I don't look like I'm being a racist? No, it's just what it is. It's just what it is.
Well, you shouldn't even eat it anyway because it's so
terrible for you. MSG, maybe MSG kills the fucking corona.
That's
that would work. Just slather ourselves in chow mein.
Yeah. I will never even let an Asian person touch me ever
Right.
again. And that's not because I'm racist.
You know what the good thing is, though?
That's because I just don't like them.
You can take one of those little boxes that it comes in, you empty it out, you put the metal things around your ears, and you have a little mask.
Oh, they are sending out masks.
They're sending out masks. They just happen to be full of rice and, and chow fun.
You can rinse it and use a Clorox wipe.
Right.
And now your rice container becomes a healthy safety mask.
I like filling it with herbs so the dirty air doesn't
that's what
get
I do.
in there.
I order herbs and just leave them in there.
Is there a good Chinese place near you?
What's that?
Is there a good Chinese place near you?
Oh, fuck yeah. There's good Chinese places, Japanese food. Yeah. I could order like hibachi from Shiro Grill, and it's so fucking good. Yeah.
Good Chinese is hard to find.
Not on Long Island for some reason.
I think in New York there's a lot of really bad Chinese.
Yeah, I think the worst place you could go for Chinese food is fucking Chinatown.
Yeah.
Unless you know, like, it's like Little Italy. You could get the shittiest Italian food in Little Italy because they think they open a store or a restaurant, and it's just crappy, mealy eggplant and fucking thick cuts of chicken cutlet that are gristly. But there's a couple of places, usually the places that someone who was shot and killed in, back in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, of course.
Those are the good places. Umberto's.
Yeah.
But for the most part, Chinese food is hard to find a good place.
Well, I knew Sparks would be good because Paul
Sparks
Castellano
Steakhouse.
died in front of it.
Oh, he was fucking people are dying to get in there. Fuck yeah.
Chip, he had eaten his meal.
Fuck. Chip is doing TikToks now, and they're hilariously funny. Because Chip doesn't do his show, he wouldn't even be able to do his show from Bobby's studio there above the Comedy Cellar. But he's doing these TikToks now, and they're really well produced, and they are just cringe-inducing, embarrassing shit.
I think I'm too old to get into TikTok at this point.
Oh, you would think so, but Chip, of course, would get into TikTok. Jimmy's too old, but Chip is perfect for TikTok. I love how he separated the characters enough where Chip could do things that Jimmy should never be part of. Yeah.
Wait, so when's the last time you were in the studio?
We haven't been in the studio since Thursday, not last Thursday, the Thursday before.
2 weeks tomorrow.
Yeah. We have everything we need down here. It's fucking righteous.
It really is.
But I think, who's doing the show from the studio? Gino?
Me, Gino and Aaron.
Yeah.
Bill, but not Joanne, right?
Joanne's Skyping.
Yeah, she's much too pretty to get this.
Yeah, she doesn't
We don't want her getting it. Bill, we don't really care if Bill gets
Well, Bill's
this.
probably had it.
Yeah. That's another thing. People are wondering if they've had it. I had, in early November, I got that horrible cough, dry cough. I had a fever for literally a day with chills and everything. Horrible cough that lasted 2.5 months, this cough. I went to the doctor twice. They took x-rays. They weren't able to give me any answers as to if it's a flu or anything. They just sent me home with prednisone and an inhaler. Every time I breathed in and out, it sounded like Rice Krispies, snap, crackling, popping in my lungs. Never had anything close to that in my life. And it finally just kind of went away after 2.5 months.
Well, and I caught it, and then I took a Z-Pack and zinc, and it shook off in a few days.
Yeah.
And that's what they're saying is now the cure to this, which I find very surprising because Z-Pack is an antibiotic, and this is a virus.
Right.
But it's supposed to, what the virus does is inflames your lungs so badly
You get pneumonia.
that it becomes a bacterial infection. So the antibiotic clears that up.
That's why a lot of people are taking 2 courses of it.
Yeah.
Because one's almost like the beginning of prevention and then
Well,
elimination.
I had it, and I just took some fish cleaner per the president.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll be
We're
fine.
recommending that right here on Compound Media. If you
I'm
have
fine.
some fish cleaner. Also, if you're eating, just sprinkle some of that Tetra food in your mouth. 2 sprinkles 3 times a day.
Whenever I want salt, I just go and grab a new jacket.
I've been putting the fish tank heater up my ass and setting it to medium.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I just to calm myself down.
I did that with a hairdryer because of some dipshit in Florida.
I'm jerking off with fish tank gravel in my hand.
Yeah.
To let out the evilness.
I'm trying to get enough cum on my face that it creates a seal mask.
Right, it just seals. Make a jizz mask, like as if you smeared Elmer's glue on your face.
Yes.
And slightly pulled it out. Yeah, that's what you need to do.
And then I put a screen over it like a bowl.
We'll go like this for an hour. So what are your plans? Like, how are you? Are you doing a show still? I know you're doing our show.
But you want to know what I'm doing? I went down a rabbit hole. Oh, I got to thank you for something.
Oh.
So, yeah. What praise? He's so used to getting attacked.
Crazy.
That Anthony doesn't know what to do. So, I had this video when I was a kid, when I was 4 or 5. The first thing I ever collected was little soaps. And I still have that soap collection.
Yes.
And you guys played it because I unpacked it. And it's such a prime opportunity to make fun of someone.
Yes.
Because, like, what the fuck is with these soaps from 1980? But you guys were like, oh, okay, this is fun.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. People collect things. It's something you're like, oh, I kind of remember that. People like nostalgia.
But it's also like it's goofy, silly fun that's not trying to not be goofy, silly fun.
Right, it is goofy, silly.
So I just got a bunch of other soaps that I'm going to do a live stream on.
Oh, nice. We are losing our collective.
Wait, hold on.
We
Let
are.
me get the soaps. Give me 10 seconds.
Please do. I am very excited about this.
What's odd is I had a ton of old soaps from like Bally's in Atlantic City and like all these
the complimentary
the
soaps.
complimentary soaps.
All right, I got them.
All right, let's take a look-see. There's a magic bag.
Ooh.
So I'm getting a bunch just to do this live stream.
Yeah.
So I recommend anyone who's got skin problems. The best soap I found is something called African black soap.
Wow, that sounds terrible.
No, it really works. It clears up your skin. It doesn't make you want to rape people, Anthony.
Okay.
That's a lie. So that same company, Nubian Heritage, makes this, which is Indian hemp.
Indian hemp soap.
Oh my god.
And they also make coconut and papaya.
Wow, why do they all look the same packaging? They're from the same
It's
company?
the same company.
And where did you get
And
this?
then
At
we
Bath Body Works?
No, you got to go to like these are the kind of specialty. This is patchouli and whatever Barudi. I don't know what that
cool.
is.
It smells like a fucking hippie from the 90s.
It doesn't. I thought it was going to smell that way.
Like patchouli
Then I
and
got
musk.
some soap
Like a
from the
hemp
you people
necklace.
country, Italy. I think this is Italy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is Italian. This is carrot soap.
Of course, it's got to have
Italy.
food in it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Fucking Italians.
Italians.
Mamma mia
It's the
soap.
healthiest thing you can eat in Italy is
Then
their
what else
soap.
we have here? I fucking went deep. Oh, this is also Italian. This has plum, persimmon, and amber, but it's got like bread in it, I think. See
That's
this
probably
bread?
marinara.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it makes you bloody.
Sausage and pepper
yeah,
soap.
a Parmesan
Italian,
bath
too.
bar.
Yeah. What is that? It looks like
looks-
cigarettes.
That looks fancy.
It is fancy.
It looks like
It's-
Canadian cigarettes.
Yeah. Wow, it's got the paper on it and
Oh.
everything.
Yeah, we don't mess around here. What else we got in here? This is from Sweden.
It looks very Swedish.
Egg white soap.
Egg white
This is for
soap.
Spanish people.
Uh-oh.
They're obsessed with something called Florida water.
Yeah.
Like they put it as a cologne. They
Like
drink it.
the
I think.
fountain of youth, probably.
Yeah. So this
Everything's
is
Day of the
December
Dead was
where-
bad.
Spaniards were always looking for that fountain of youth down in Florida.
Yep.
This is from Scotland. Thistle
Oi.
and black pepper.
What is it called?
Thistle and black pepper.
Black pepper.
Thistle and black pepper.
It's
Oh,
egg.
that's awesome.
We
Yeah,
have
I've had
two
people
ingredients here to
I had
wash
people been
yourself.
chipping in
Sounds
money
terrible.
to buy
right?
these things.
Thistle
So.
and black
What
pepper.
else? This is another black soap. Coconut hibiscus.
Uh-huh. And now, is it actually black? Like, is the soap
Yes.
black?
Yes, it's
does-
actually black.
Does it lather up black, or is it lather up white?
It lathers clear.
Oh, clear.
So
okay.
when it does the work, it's white.
Because I,
If it works correctly.
I would hate to have someone snap a picture while you're washing your face and you losing your gig.
Do you wash with a red or blue bandana?
That's how I became governor of Virginia.
Right. I was just washing my face, supporting the black soap.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Look
I
at
have
that.
never seen that before.
It's really good for your skin. If you have skin problems, try it.
My father would be like, "Son of a bitch, I'm not using that soap."
What am I, Sicilian?
Yeah.
It's
Eggplant soap. What is that? That looks like high karate.
It is black people soap.
It's more black soap.
Does it leave? Have you used the soap? Does it
I
leave
use it
you?
regularly.
Does it leave you nice and moisturized?
So yeah, this is why, and it clears up your acne and skin problems. This is why
I wish I
got
had that
into
back in the
bunch of companies.
70s.
I gotta try that because if it
And
clears
also
up
we
black
have-
ashy, you're gonna feel moisturized.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I was into shaving soaps for a while, and now some of those companies have started making soap. So this one smells like Seville.
Oh, it's wrapped up like a nice, fine hotel soap.
Yeah. So we've been having
in that
fun with
paper
this.
wrapper.
Keep yourself sane.
Wow.
And also, I've got all these scented candles. This is all I can do to keep myself from going crazy.
Yeah. And
And
as you
barely
look at your
working.
soaps, it's probably some kind of aromatherapy to help out too, with the nice smell.
Because then if you use a washcloth, your entire bathroom is going to smell like that soap.
Yeah.
I like how collecting soaps is what's keeping you from going crazy.
Yeah, that's keeping him from going insane. My aromatherapy is gun oil and cordite.
Yeah.
I do
think
enjoy
there's some
those
kind of
scents.
Weird Freudian thing about cleanliness during these times.
Yeah.
I'm with
So
you.
there's got to be some subconscious thing with that, but that's what we've been doing. I've got like 30 more on the way.
Wow.
I think the subconscious is making a lot of people very sick, and I'm just saying that as a germaphobe. I think that is a huge problem right now.
Yeah. People like the mind over matter kind of illness.
Well, if you convince enough people, that's what bothers me about the news. Is somebody who's forced to not forced, but watches it all day long.
Yeah.
You're gonna think you're getting something, especially while spring is happening and allergies kick in.
Allergy season. You're right.
It's a terrible time for
that
people.
could cause your nose to run, a sore throat, something like that. I think as long as you don't have headache and a bad cough and a fever.
Well, my friend's sister got it, who's pregnant.
Oh.
And
cool.
she's a nurse. They made her come into work.
Oh my God.
And she called him and said, "I think I'm allergic to my mask," because she lost all sense of
boy,
smell and
that's
taste.
one of the signs too.
But that was it.
Okay, I
she
can
was
still
fine
smell.
after that.
you can still smell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the if you can still smell, you're good.
Yeah. You hear about some people, and it's like they had the symptoms, and then the next day they're gone.
Well, yeah,
It's like, what the fuck?
A doctor just died, I guess. Who?
God, he was a neurosurgeon that helped separate Siamese twins connected at the head. So he had to have brain surgery shit and all kinds of stuff. Made models like out of CAT scans of veins and arteries, and he did. And then this fucking thing takes him. He was a Vietnam vet, a medic in Vietnam,
and he was 1 day away from retirement.
He was. He kept saying, "I'm too old for this shit.
I'm too old for this shit." Oh my God. His last words were, "I always thought it would be the gooks."
Yeah.
Because he was in the Nam. They spoke
But it was the chinks.
He died on a toilet because Riggs wasn't there to pull him off.
Right, to pull him off of the fucking toilet. I don't know. We're all trying to keep our sanity. Oh my God,
It's
the time flies in this fucking basement. Michael, thank you so much for popping in today on your Skype. Anything you have to plug? A book or anything? Nothing, right? We're all just like, no plugs. No one's doing anything. It's a shame.
You've got your book, The New Right.
That's sure. I mean,
all right, sure.
it's fine.
Your show, of course,
Nightshade.
Nightshade is on, I think 6:30 p.m. It pops up on our sites now.
Okay.
At Compound Media. And are you doing the other thing over at Gas?
You're welcome. Yeah, on Gas. What I've been doing on Nightshade is I got the old Kevin Brennan background, which is everything on fire, and I have to come in
nice.
because I'm just like, this shit's on fire. We're not doing so hot.
It is. Everything's burning. The world's burning. Some people are running in panic, and some are fiddling. So.
But it's also just crazy walking around, around like someplace at night. I went like a couple weeks ago, and no one was on the streets, but none of the lights were on either. And it's like, where is everyone? We've seen enough of these movies, like 12 Monkeys and Outbreak and all that. It's like, where did everyone go?
Yeah, this is something they didn't really do a good job of in those movies. like this portion of the time. They had everyone living normally, and it quickly degenerated into government entities in those outbreak suits, killing people, shipping them off to camps. It's like, what about this point where everyone's just kind of going, yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but there's no one outside.
Well, yeah, all the rich are having parties with each other.
Yeah,
There's always that. They're not distancing at all. I started getting freaked out when I was going to the studio because I would just take an Uber, and I realized that I was in Times Square, and I'm like, there's 8 people.
Yeah, and
like
half of them are
3
Elmo.
PM. Yeah, yeah, half of them. I bet they're fine.
Oh, they're wearing a mask all day.
Yeah,
and they have been for years.
They probably brought it here.
I guess they're fine. Yeah, it's in that fur, that mangy cookie monster fucking fur
that grabs your kid's ass.
Because they're always taking pictures with Asians.
Yeah, they are.
They're always like, hey, look. So I bet all those guys, the naked cowboys hacking his fucking lungs out.
Oh God, let's hope so.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was another tweet I had, which I was very proud of. I was said you would think something called Chinese virus would focus on newborn girls.
You're racist. Oh, I love your fucking Twitter account. Tell people what your Twitter account is so they could follow you if they don't
already. It's just
already.
Michael Malice. They've been flashing it all episode. There it is.
Oh, there
Thanks.
it is. Yeah, it's definitely a must follow account because the anger, the want that people have to be angry is perfect, and you are just a carrier of that. I love it.
Yeah, you do not give a fuck.
No,
and it is fun to watch.
And people get so upset. Michael, thanks so much, man. We'll
Take
talk
care,
to you
guys.
soon. Be well. And we'll after this mess is over, maybe we'll all go out.
You can come to my house finally.
Be able to hang out, have a pool party or something. Thanks a lot, man.
Take care, guys.
There goes Michael Malice. We love Michael. He's a very good guy. Really good, fun, intelligent guy.
I've done his You're Welcome a couple times, and I really enjoy chatting with him.
Yeah, he's fucking great, man. Writes good books. He's knowledgeable. He's a little crazy with the anarchy thing, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
I was speaking to him about the difference between libertarian, even hard libertarian, and anarchy, and I was just laughing my ass off. I'm like, well, what about police? No, there are no police. Everyone takes care of their own shit. It's like, what if somebody comes over and fucking robs you? Well, you got to protect against that.
People have this very middle school idea of what anarchy is,
and then
when he explains it as
you're
an
constantly
actual
throwing
system,
Molotov cocktails.
Well, that's what you think about.
Yeah,
You're like,
that's what everyone
so
thinks.
you think I should fill a tennis ball with match heads and throw it at a tree?
Right, that's anarchy.
Right. And when he explained it to me one time, and I'm like, no, I get it though.
Yeah,
I don't really see any system working.
I know. So it's like, because I said, what happens if somebody wants to come over you and take your